BRSCC Mazda mx5 Super Cup arrives at Donington Park for its second visit to the Midlands circuit this year, this time though to crown a champion. Luke Herbert has a 10-point lead over Jack Harding, with 3 20-minute races standing between him and a third consecutive MX5 Super Cup title. It's set to be a trio of spectacular races this weekend. Well, the cars are pulling up on the grid now ahead of our first race of the day. Here's how the points look arriving here at Donington Park. Herbert 10 points clear of Harding, with Hills in third, Patrick Fletcher now secure in fourth, with Gary Townsend looking to equally secure his fifth position here at the end of the season. Here's the grid then for our first race. Herbert on pole with Hills alongside, then Jack Harding and James Cousins, the impressive newcomer, on the second row. Simon Baldwin in utter share row 3, ahead of Gary Townsend and Will Stevenson on the fourth row. Then it's George Grant with Patrick Fletcher rounding out the top 10, whilst Declan Lee and Bradley Kent are at the tail end of the 12-car field. Well, it's been a phenomenal season of racing. We've had 21 races so far this year. Luke Herbert and Jack Harding almost inseparable, the same number of podiums. Herbert has one more win than Jack Harding. That 10-point cushion though all comes from these 10 fastest laps that Luke has scored this year. That's been what's made the difference, and Jack now needs a near perfect weekend to try and overcome that deficit to take the title. Away we go then, the lights out, the race is underway, and a good start made by Luke Herbert from pole position. Aidan Hills not so rapid away from the outside of row 1 though, and we'll have to work hard to try and close the door, because Jack Harding's trying to get up the inside of him as they go into Redgate corner. On board with Harding, round the outside goes Hills, and Jack Harding immediately tries to find a gap on the inside of Luke Herbert through Redgate. That didn't work though, and I think he has managed to lever the door open on the inside of Aidan Hills for second position as they race through Hollywood for the first time. Jack Harding, who's come so close to winning this championship for both of the previous 2 seasons, would be heartbroken to be denied again a third time here at the final rounds, and he is not going to give Luke Herbert an easy ride here one bit. He's going to take the fight to Luke if he can and try to wrestle the championship away. Up through the gears we go towards Schwantz Curve for the first time. On board with Jack Harding in second place, who's still got Aidan Hills alongside him though. He sails off into McLean's corner though and sees off that particular challenge. Aidan down to third then. His teammate James Cousins is in fourth position. Aidan and his family running 2 cars this weekend and looking to try and expand to a 2-car operation full-time next year. James Cousins made a very, very respectable debut in the MX5 Super Series at the most recent round, and is running in 4th position here on his Super Cup debut, which is really, really good to see. Nice to see some new blood appearing towards the sharp end of the MX5 Super Cup field as well. But it's the big 3, the 3 H's that have got themselves to the head of the field once more at the end of the opening lap. Herbert leads the way, Harding is second, Hills in third. That is the position, that is the order in which they're in the championship as well, remember, with Herbert championship leader, Harding second, and Aidan Hills no longer really a championship threat now in third position. Simon Baldwin there having a dive up the inside of James Cousins for 4th position. That didn't pay off though, so James hangs on to that top 4 place. Someone was wide there in the background, didn't quite spot who that was, but whoever it was, they bounced their way back onto the road. Top 3 starting to get away now though, and Jack Harding, as a bare minimum really, needs to try and beat Luke Herbert in all 3 races. If he can take 2 points out of Herbert in each race, he will close the gap down to just 2 points. So even that wouldn't be enough just to finish 1 position in front of Herbert. Realistically, he needs a car between the pair of them in each race to sort of guarantee that he has a shot at the title. Over the hump in the road. Oh, off in the background goes somebody. That may have been Liz Walton, I think, who's just gone a lap down, but the leaders almost making contact there as they go into the chicane. And that last little defensive move there from Herbert will surely now have given the run to Harding in third position. He's almost with them again now. Across the line they go. The team's cheering the drivers on from the pit wall into the final couple of laps of racing now in this first of 3 races this weekend. And Aidan Hills has a big look to the outside, tries to go right round the outside of Luke Herbert on this occasion, and keep an eye on Jack Harding in third. Can he join in? Can he get alongside Aidan Hills? Not right now he can't, but at least he's back on his tail again. And that lap or so that Aidan Hills had where he wasn't having to worry about Jack Harding is now well and truly over. Jack is filling his mirrors again. They go down into the old hairpin. Harding has a look to the inside, has to go for it, and he does go for it. He's over the curbs, he's almost into the side of Aidan Hills. There may have been contact there. Aidan Hills out onto the grass. He will fall down to third, he'll fall down to 4th place in fact. Aidan Hills off the podium, and well, it gives Harding second place. It gives him a shot maybe now at getting onto the tail of Luke Herbert, but is he going to be able to get there in time? And then even if he can catch Luke Herbert, will he be able to get past him? Ideally, Harding didn't really want Hills to fall that far back because he could do with getting ahead of Herbert and then let a few others through as well, whereas now it's really a 3-horse race because Simon Baldwin has gone with him, but you can see now just how far back Aidan Hills has dropped after that grassy moment at the old hairpin. We didn't see if there was contact, but they were certainly very close on the way into the corner, and it's Jack Harding that comes out of it with second place now. So as things stand, he would lose just 2 points to Luke Herbert. The gap would be 12 points with two races to go. Interestingly, Simon Baldwin has the fastest lap, so he is taking those 2 bonus points at the moment as we go on to the final lap of the race. And Jack Harding is going to have a shot at this, isn't he? Look, he's caught Luke Herbert pretty quickly. If he gets through, he'll take 2 points out of him. So as things stand, it will be 12 points in Luke Herbert's favour. If they reverse the positions and Harding gets through, it would be 8 points. It'd be 6 points potentially if both Harding and Baldwin get through. So these are the fine increments we're working in here. Every position on the track that changes is going to have a significant bearing in this championship battle. And there's now just over half a lap to go in this first of 3 races this weekend at Donington Park. Jack Harding has caught Luke Herbert, but now the real work begins. He's got to try and find a way through. Where does he make his move? Well, McLean's is a possible option. He's late on the brakes, but he can't get up the inside. Forces Herbert to drive defensively. Who gets the better exit? Pretty even, actually, between the two of them, but Herbert's going to continue to weave around and just try to apply the pressure, try and force a mistake out of the man who makes so few mistakes, Luke Herbert. 2 corners to go, 1 more braking point realistically into the chicane, and Jack Harding is less than a car length behind Luke Herbert now, who will surely have to go defensive into the chicane. If he does that, then Harding has 2 options: go round the outside or try and tee up the late apex. I don't think that's going to work though. Into the chicane they go. Harding is quicker off the corner. It's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line. Get the photo finish cameras ready. Absolutely neck and neck as they come to the checkered flag. Too close to call, and the timing screen says it was Harding. Harding got to the line ahead by thousandths of a second. A fantastic run to the flag, and Jack Harding has stolen the race victory from Luke Herbert at the very last corner. Phenomenal stuff there. Luke Herbert ends up in second place, and the gap comes down between the two of them. Well, sensational stuff, but post-race it was decided that Harding had exceeded the track limits at that final corner in getting up the inside of Luke Herbert. The position was swapped. Herbert gets the victory, and the gap actually goes out to 12 points now with just 2 races to go. What drama here at Donington Park.
Simon, congratulations on third place. That was a manic race out there. Lots of action going on, lots of slipstreaming.
It was a fantastic race. I thoroughly enjoyed it from beginning to end. So, yeah, really enjoyable. There's a little opportunity perhaps to get into the lead there that I blew, and but then I also went for the lead at the wrong place on another occasion. So it was kind of settled for third, and very happy to get that. Yeah.
Well, it's race 2 in the BRSCC Mazda mx5 Super Cup here at Donington Park, and overnight, Luke, the decision for the race victory was overturned, giving you the win. You must be feeling pretty pleased.
Yeah, I think it took 2 hours for them to make the decision, but it was, it's a crucial decision either for me or Jack. So I think they made the right call because, like I say, I couldn't have got out of that chicane any quicker than I did. So for Jack to be able to overtake me through it, he had to cut the track. But he had to give it a try. The only way he could have won that race is to do it. So fair play to him having a go, but unfortunately it was a bit obvious. So I'm unlucky for him, but lucky for me. But I did drive hard in that race, so I felt I deserved the win. We all feel we deserve the win, but we're all good enough to win, so yeah.
2 races today, could be your 3rd championship. Is that something that you've given any thought to?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've done a few calculations, not too hard, because the best thing for me to do is go out and race like I always race. If you start trying to play things and manipulate the results, it always ends up going wrong. So the best thing to do is for me to go out and try and win. And then if we have to think about what to do in the last race, then we will. But so the plan is just to go out and win.
Okay, well, we'll let you get ready. See, it's time for you to go out, so we'll let you continue getting ready for your preparations. Thank you, Luke. Hopefully we'll speak to you later on. With that, it's over to Andy to take you through all of the race 2 action.
Thanks, Lloyd. Well, it's a damp and greasy circuit that greets the drivers this morning for race number 2. Here's how they line up. Luke Herbert and Aidan Hills share the front row based on their 2nd fastest lap times from qualifying yesterday, with Harding and James Cousins on row 2. Then it's Simon Baldwin, one of the stars of the show yesterday, and Nick Rutter alongside, with Patrick Fletcher and George Grant on the 4th row. Gary Townsend and Declan Lear on row 5. Chris Richardson and Peter Weaver are next. Then Bradley Kent, Liz Walton, David Henderson and Will Stevenson to round out the 16 runners. So 12 points in it. If Herbert beats Harding in this race, you have to say it's as good as over, really. So Harding has nothing to lose and is well and truly fired up after that decision that was taken to reverse the result after race number 1. The lights go out then. We're away and racing for the penultimate time in 2019. And it's neck and neck here between Aidan Hills and Luke Herbert. The top two on the grid are side by side into Redgate Corner for the first time. Now, in these damp conditions, the grip may prove to be on the outside line. And that's where Aidan Hills goes. And he gets the lead away. Nicely done. Aidan does tend to go well in these slippery conditions. He's got first place away from Luke Herbert, who we're riding on board with now, slotting into second place as we drop down through the Craner curves for the first time. That victory for Luke was his 20th career win, which means that now, remarkably, he and Jack Harding both have the same amount of career victories. They're almost inseparable on podiums as well. Jack's had 58 career podiums, Luke 55. They both had 17 career fastest laps. It's no wonder, really, that we've been treated to such sensational racing between these two in the last couple of years. The championship battles between them have been electrifying, and that's why, because they are two of the most evenly matched drivers in the business. And here they are again now, nose to tail, fighting for second place. We're on board now with Harding in third position, so he's managed to fend off James Cousins at the start of this race. No, in fact, no, he is fourth. I beg your pardon, that's Cousins in front of us. So Harding has lost a position, actually, from the start of the race. Out of coppice they go then. Through the gears, down the exhibition straight once more. Jack Harding with 6 wins to his name in 2019, 21 podiums, which, guess what, is the same amount as Luke Herbert scored this year too. The stats between these two are almost begging belief, really, at this point. But here they come then, end of the opening lap of racing. It's Hills, excuse me, that leads the way. Herbert second and Cousins third. The interloper now amongst the big three, with Jack Harding fourth. Sideways again there for Aidan as he drifts the car as only he can through that dauntingly quick sequence of corners. But that now maybe is the final nail in the coffin, really, for Jack Harding's championship aspirations. And now he's under pressure from James Cousins, who tries to get up the inside into Starkey's corner. Took too ill to the dirt there to do so, and in the end simply ran out of road. So Harding does hold on to third by the skin of his teeth, and you do feel now that for the third year in succession, it's just slowly starting to slip away. He came here 2 years ago with a mathematical chance of beating Luke Herbert, but Luke was very much in the driving seat on that occasion, just needed to get 3 solid results, which he did, and took his first title. Then last year, Jack came here a little bit closer, actually, in the points than the previous year, but we lost a race, sadly, due to adverse weather conditions and red flags and such like, and so Harding, actually, when he was looking like he might be able to outscore Herbert in the races here 12 months ago, didn't get as many opportunities as he should have done to score those points. So Herbert was able to come out the champion again. This year, arguably, they were closer still on points, and it was definitely possible that Harding could have done it. That decision made last night hasn't helped matters, but it was still going to be an uphill struggle to outscore Luke Herbert by enough points to take the championship from him. And indeed, it would appear it's not going to happen, because he's down in third place at the moment. We're on the final lap of our penultimate race of the year, and whilst there is still another race to come, I'm not convinced that it's going to be doable now. Luke Herbert should be... Oh, and now it's that surely has done it now, because Jack Harding's off at the old hairpin. Drops down to fourth place now on the final lap of the race. I said earlier on that car did not look happy on corner entry, and, well, that now really does, I think, end his championship aspirations, because he's down to fourth place now, and the gap's going to go up by another 2 points now. Another 8 points in total it will go up by, and that now, I think, will be about it now. 20 points between the two of them going into the final race is surely an insurmountable margin. James Cousins, though, taking full advantage of that to move into third place. This, though, is the man of the moment. It's never official until it's official, but right now, by my calculations, it's going to be mighty hard for anyone to beat Luke Herbert, who comes out of the final corner to take his 9th victory of the season. And it is the one that puts him on the cusp of the 2019 championship. He takes the checkered flag. It's almost neck and neck between the two Aidan Hills cars, but it's Hills that gets second, Cousins in third, and Jack Harding a disconsolate fourth position. And that, I think, is the end of his championship hopes. Well, it's Herbert then that takes the race victory, and That was a crucial win. 4.4 seconds, by the way, is the second biggest winning margin of the year. Aidan Hills second, James Cousins third, with Harding in fourth. Patrick Fletcher fifth, then Nick Rutter and Simon Baldwin, with Will Stevenson, George Grant and Gary Townsend to round out the top 10. Liz Walton, the last of the finishers, whilst Bradley Kent, sadly, failed to start.
Luke, congratulations on your win in race 2. A little bit of an interesting discussion between you and Luke there in Parc Fermé.
Yeah, you know, it's tight racing. Someone's always right, someone's always wrong. Everyone thinks they're right, so I don't know what's, you know, it will obviously go to the office, so don't know what's going to happen. But as far as I'm aware, I made a mistake. Aidan went to the left of me on the outside of the chicane because he had the pace. I went to the right to defend against Jack, and you know, he tried to go, as far as I'm aware, down a gap that wasn't there and locked up on the grass. So obviously, when it's been raining, it's only going to end up one way. You're going to lock up and go on. So yeah, so that was what the heated moment was about, I think. But yeah, it's, you know, I'm pleased to come out of a win. I think we got fastest lap, so yeah, good result. One more race, and then hopefully we get the championship. But I don't celebrate until the final race is done, because I'll do every. A lot of people will miss out a race, but I'm here to race, so I'll do every race.
We're here as the cars are getting ready to go out for the final time this year in the BRSCC Mazda MX5 Super Cup. And because it's the final race of the weekend, it's a reverse grid. Simon Baldwin is on pole position. Now don't forget, he took fastest lap in the first race, so he's going to be one to watch. Championship leader Luke Herbert is further back on the grid. See how he comes through, because he's going to want to end the season on a high. It's over to Andy to take you through the final race action.
Well, the final race of what's been a dramatic 2019 campaign. Here's how they line up then in full. It's Simon Baldwin on pole position with Nick Rutter alongside them, Patrick Fletcher and James Cousins. Aidan Hills and Luke Herbert share the third row, with Will Stevenson and George Grant on row 4. There is no Jack Harding though. With the championship now gone, he has decided not to race in the final race of the season, but he's still here, I believe, cheering on the AK Automotive squad, and Gary Townsend in particular, who you can see lines up 9th on the grid. So no Jack Harding. That means that pending any post-race penalties, the championship now belongs to Luke Herbert. We can just go racing now with no more positions within the top 5 in the championship still up for grabs. One last race then, 20 minutes of action away ahead of us, and away goes Luke Herbert from the third row of the grid with a brilliant start around the outside of James Cousins, but it's Simon Baldwin that holds onto the lead. Down to the first corner, Aidan Hills comes up the inside as well. They're 3 abreast for second place. That won't work, and Luke Herbert had to back out of that, otherwise there was always guaranteed to be contact. It's Baldwin that leads the way then, Fletcher's second, Cousins third, one car out wide further back, but gets back on again. That was possibly Liz Walton, I think. But at the front of the field, look how congested it is as Aidan Hills comes through into third position now, ahead of James Cousins. Brilliant start this from Aidan Hills, who's been pretty good in these reverse grid races over the last year or so. Down through the old hairpin for the first time. Everyone through cleanly. There's the number 50 car of Peter Weaver from towards the back of the field, but Aidan Hills is wasting no time at all here. Gets right on it, round the outside of Fletcher into second place, and he might have even got the lead away there from Simon Baldwin. He has! Aidan Hills goes around the outside of 2 cars at McLean's. It's also starting to rain now. You can see it's a little bit greasy out there. The track was dry when the race got underway, but there's a few spots of rain starting to fall now, and that's going to add extra spice into the mix now ahead of this final race of the season, which is already nearing the completion of its opening lap. Down the exhibition straight they go. Hills leads the way, Baldwin second, 3 abreast though as they go down to the chicane. Fletcher having a look up the inside, has a big lock-up, but gets away with it, hangs on to third. And then it will be Luke Herbert behind with James Cousins. That's George Grant all over the curves, nearly gives that foam barrier on the apex of the chicane a headbutt. Then Declan Lee, the number 11 car, right behind him. Windscreen wipers on for half the field. It's not really raining at this part of the track. It's at the far end of the circuit where it's getting damp and greasy. And every time they get there now, it will be a bit of a voyage into the unknown as this, what looks like being a fairly heavy rain shower, starts to pass through. Through they go then. Through the crane curves for the second time on board with Luke Herbert. You can see here not too much water on the windscreen as they come down the craners, which is good, because if ever there was a part of the circuit you don't want to suddenly get wet, it's this part of the circuit. Because they come out of the old hairpin, they're heading into the area from which the rain is coming. Oh, Simon Baldwin with a bit of a mistake there. Patrick Fletcher pulls to the right hand side, tries to go through. There's always contact there. Fletcher's on the grass. Oh, can he save it? He's sideways. Luke Herbert goes through to third place, but Patrick Fletcher exits stage right and will cut right across the grass to try and continue. James Cousins is off now as well. Oh, it's really raining cats and dogs at the far end of the circuit, and James Cousins has gone off through the gravel trap. Into Coppice they go. It's even wetter here, a bit wide there. Oh, Aidan Hills is off. The race leader off into the gravel trap. Aidan Hills, they're all off. Gary Townsend's off. Cars off everywhere as the rain suddenly arrives in one big hit. It's absolute carnage up at Coppice Corner. Cars pointing the wrong way. David Henderson has spun. George Grant's been off the road. Miraculously though, I think they've all continued. Oh, there's one car still digging its way out, that's Declan Lee. But that was utter drama. I've no idea what order they've got themselves into now. There's Patrick Fletcher, he's been off as we saw. James Cousins has rejoined, actually not far behind him, after they both went off within a couple of hundred metres of each other. And he's into second place as quick as a flash, but it's Aidan Hills with one of the moves of the season to go around the outside of the three-time champion at one of the most daunting corners in British motor racing. Takes some guts, and Aidan Hills, well, I applaud you, because that was one of the best overtakes I think I've ever seen in MX5 Super Cup racing. However, it does not mean that he's got the race victory wrapped up yet, because with one lap to go, they're almost 3 abreast for the race lead across the start-finish line. Herbert goes to the outside line. He's going to try and do to Aidan Hills what Aidan did to him a lap ago. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, though. He risks leaving the door open now for Simon Baldwin, who looks to the inside line through Hollywood. Aidan Hills just about hanging on. Is he? Herbert trying to keep coming, though, around the outside line, but I think Hills should get into the crane of curves in front. No, they're still side by side, and Luke Herbert has managed to keep Aidan Hills offline. Into the old hairpin though, and Simon Baldwin sails through on the inside into second position. So it's Hills that leads the way. Baldwin second, Herbert in third place now with half a lap to go in the race, half a lap to go in the season. The championship may have been wrapped up with a race to spare, but that means they've saved arguably the race of the season till the very end. What a way to round out the championship, and still any one of 3 drivers could take the spoils here. Hills has the advantage of being out in front, but he is now going to be punching that hole in the air for the other 2 to maybe take advantage of on the long run down the exhibition straight. Luke Herbert is also not giving up his hopes of getting into second as a bare minimum here. He'll be glad to finish the season on the podium, but he'd love to end with a win. All 3 of them almost pushing each other down the exhibition straight and into the chicane for the final time. 2 more corners to go. Aidan Hills gets into the corner in front. Will he come out of it in front there? It looks as though he's managed to fend them off just about, and Aidan Hills will take his 9th career victory, his 7th of the season, and what a way to do it. What a race that was. Almost neck and neck for second place, but by 41 thousandths of a second, it's Simon Baldwin who gets his best career finish, his first 2 podiums in the Super Cup, both coming here at Donington Park at the championship finale. With Luke Herbert denied by just a nose at the flag there, he has to settle for 3rd. Well, fantastic racing there all round. Patrick Fletcher ends up in 4th, Will Stevenson 5th with Gary Townsend in 6th, then James Cousins, George Grant, Chris Richardson and David Henderson rounding out the top 10. We've seen 326 laps of racing this year, over 650 miles of it, and it all came down to what was one of the best races in
Luke
recent
Herbert,
memory.
that's
Brilliant
it confirmed.
stuff.
2019 Mazda MX5 Super Cup champion, 3rd championship in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to get 2 was incredible, to get 3. And to end it with a race like that, I mean, can't ask for much more. I mean, the rain came down on one of the corners, just a light flash, and me and Simon were the only ones to get around. I thought, oh, Aidan's gone, it's just between me and Simon. 5 laps later, Aidan's back, so yeah, you know, I could have sat it out and taken the championship, but you've got to go out on high, and you know, it's been great. I've got my sponsors here, SRC Recycling, Chichester Water Sorts, ACC Tyres, Mercure Wealth Management, ANS Tooling, so, you know, to win with another championship, it's just absolutely great. Can't believe it.